Good evening, and it's Paranormal Peeps with Janet O'Carroll. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm absolutely fantastic, Jacqueline. How are you?
I'm okay. We seem to have an issue sharing, but it's all right. We've just had a bit of a technical issue, so it's only gone out to two of the locations. So,
No
but hey
worries.
ho,
No
it's
worries.
fine. It's all
Of course,
good.
you're fine.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it's okay. We're going out to two, not three. Yeah. So, thank you anyway for giving up your time, and it's finally nice to chat to you because I first met you at Sage Paracon
You did. You did. Yes.
about 6 years ago.
Oh God, was it that one?
Yeah,
It's
is it
got to be.
5?
Yeah, and 2022 as well. When I was a speaker there, you was there, weren't you?
Mm,
I
yeah.
remember. I remember your effort at karaoke. It was.
Which one? The screaming one?
No, fair play to you. I wouldn't get up there, Jackie.
Which that? Yeah, I always do karaoke. I used to run
Yeah.
a pub.
Yeah.
I didn't know anyone knew that did karaoke there because everyone was so busy chatting and stuff.
Oh yes, yes,
Because
yes.
obviously there's some really good singers there.
Yeah, one of them wasn't me, and I didn't indulge because I think the room would have cleared. To be honest, Jackie, with you. So
Hmm.
one thing,
Yeah, I did karaoke with Jeff Belanger. Not one of them.
I think it was actually yes, it
It
was
was
yes,
that one.
yes. I think
Oh,
it was.
I've got footage of that.
Yeah, I think it was
That was
actually.
so incredible. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. It
Yeah,
wasn't
him
the
and
song I thought it was.
yeah, Jeff Bellinger and MJ were photobombing my phone. I sort of made the mistake of getting it and leaving it at the bar, and when
Oh
I came,
yes, anything can happen.
them two on there. Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was an incredible one, and yeah,
Mm.
they were brilliant. They really were. Had loads of fun, and you sort of met some loads of amazing people there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely amazing people I've met through the stage. Well, I've been to most of them.
Yeah.
So I don't think I didn't go to the last one. I was supposed to be a speaker, but I was poorly.
Oh,
Um,
bless you.
so I couldn't make it, unfortunately. And
Yeah.
I would have loved to. I was absolutely gutted, but I was quite poorly.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah, that's right.
Mm.
You've got to do, um, you know, how you feel, haven't you, really? And that's that. So,
Absolutely.
if you are ill, then there is no choice, is there?
Hmm.
So, I always sort of start sort of asking, what sort of got you into this, you sort of do the mediumship side of things. So, what was your first encounter then?
As far as I can remember, Jackie, and this is going back some considerable years now, a lot. Fairly weird since birth, but since birth, let's put it that way. So, one of my earliest encounters is in my book, and I think I was probably about 8 years old, and my great nan, my dad's nan, who brought him up, she passed away. And I can even remember her still now seeing her when she was
Oh,
bedbound and she was downstairs in her bed and she
oh,
passed
bless
away.
you.
I remember going to the funeral and then going back to the house for the wake and thinking, why is everyone so upset? Because she's just sat in bed. She's still here. I was only a child and I was sort of trying to make sense of it. So
Oh,
talking to a mind to mind sort of thing. And I couldn't
yeah.
understand why all these people were so sad because I could still see her. So from,
Ooh.
from earliest age, I've seen spirit. I think also written in my book is where I can remember years and years and years ago, and I remember looking to the bedroom door. The bedroom door was open. Again, I was probably about that age, roughly, maybe a little bit more, maybe a bit younger, and there were two monks walked past the bedroom door.
Wow.
Well, I must admit, I was absolutely petrified at this point.
She
I
would.
got blankets up to my face like this, thinking, shit, what's up? Well, not
Oh,
when I was that age, but like sort of, oh my God, I
yeah.
eventually fell asleep in that position. Now that image will be with me until I pass.
Yeah.
Always be with me. Later on, because I'm so interested in regression, different lives,
Oh, interesting.
the Akashic records, all sorts of things like that. I've regressed, and one of my regressions, the 2 monks were in the regression. So really, really interesting.
Oh.
I do regressive therapy, not just past life regressions, not just Akashic record work to remove blockages and things like that, but also present life regression.
What's that then? How's that work?
Okay, so if you've had think about a traumatic time, I don't really want to take you back there,
Yeah.
Jack. Think about
Yeah.
a time,
Yeah.
right? And I would put you, well, say into a trance-like state.
Yeah.
Using I'm trained up in quite a few things. I'm not just a psychic medium. I'm an advanced clinical hypnotherapist, NLP practitioner, like blah 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 and all the rest, right? So I put you into a sort of hypnotic state, in a trance-like state, and I'd take you back to that place. I would make sure that you're comfortable, that you're viewing it as a third party looking in, and what you would do differently, and the blocks associated with that place, to remove them, so that you'll be able
Wow.
to walk forward, right, and walk into your
Yeah.
path, live your purpose, enjoy life, take those blockages away, throw them away, put them in room 101, put them wherever you like. But
That
just throw.
must be incredible because, a lot of people do have trauma in their lives, don't they? And
And
just
then,
like walking away from it and sort of moving on. Like, there's a friend at the moment who's very angry at everything,
yeah,
and you can't do anything about it. She's just lashing out at everyone, and it is, yeah,
yeah, there's probably some work to be done there, but it's if the person wants to do it. But it's a
that's
very
right.
important part of my work is present life regression, and I
Wow.
absolutely adore past life regression. It's just amazing. It's just,
Well, I really don't get that at all. I've still got I'm linked in with my 1800s past life still. So much so sometimes I talk to him. Sometimes I'd talk about him, then he'd just appear behind me. Um, yeah, I was telling the story about him and he tried to strangle me outside Derby Jail, and it's just absolutely incredible. It really is.
perhaps there's some
Hello.
more, perhaps there's some more work to be done then. Hi, Mason. Perhaps there's some more work to be done there, just to
Yes.
discover why. What does he want to tell? What part of you have you carried forward from him? Why?
I
What's
used
the
to work for him.
right? So, and just understand a little bit more and a little bit more, just go more and more into those regressions, and
Yeah.
just for some more information back.
It's been part of a lot of my paranormal journey. A lot of places investigated, things associated with him came through. And like, like the first time I actually spoke to somebody mediumistically, it was actually his daughter. And it's like years later, you mentioned the story, and I was just on a podcast, and she says, "Well, actually, I could see you being hung somewhere." Well, not quite hung. I was actually thrown down an oubliette. And it's a medium who actually got that information.
You
And
definitely need
when
to come to
uh,
St. Bravo and stand over you.
yeah, it's funny because I like things like that. I like, well, which paranormal investigator doesn't like these sort of creepy, dark places, tunnels,
Well, yeah,
caves, things like that. But I don't know why there's always so much activity. Obviously, we know the scenario, but
yeah.
you know, sellers of houses, why is there always so much activity in a place like that?
Well, the thing is, I mean, people go looking more in the dark and the dungeons, and there was a lot of sinister things went on. Even in the 20th century, 19th, there's, all steeped through history. It's not just, going back to the 1700s. St. Bradford's, where I'm doing the retreat this year, is actually a Norman castle. So there's hell of a lot of history to that. Hell of a lot.
Yeah.
and a hell of a lot of, they used to take them out the back and hang them, not literally out the back, but do you know what I'm saying? They used to hang them there, throw them down the oubliette. It also was a place, it used to be King John's hunting lodge at one point.
Nice.
There was, I can only remember this, Jackie, you understand, because, history and geography is not my,
it's not
me.
mine that well either.
Yeah, exactly. I can remember this. I've linked in directly with Queen Isabella on the first Festival of Spirit at St Breville's, which was in the, I've pulled the article out for you. I won't read it to you or bore you with that. I'll show it over some other time. But that is the article from the first one, Queen Isabella.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
That was absolutely amazing. So basically, with Queen Isabella, we'd done 2 paranormal investigations, one on the Friday night, one on the Saturday night, and there's all sorts of workshops going on, a bit like it's going to be this year, but with the beauty, we've got Halloween night, haven't we? So we're doing the investigation on the Friday.
That's brilliant.
But like I said, I had my backside grabbed in the oubliette. We were doing a bit of a seance in there, and I tried to blame somebody else. I actually tried to blame my PA, believe it or not. So it weren't me. I'm not nowhere near you, sort of thing. So, and I just looked, and I heard this cackle, and I just said, because thoughts are living things. So I'm speaking to him in my head, saying, "How very rude." Because I haven't been to a place yet where I've feared a spirit, or where I've been.
Oh, wow, okay.
I've never, and I'm still looking for the ultimate goal on evidence, and I mean real, clear, precise evidence.
Yeah, that is a difficult one, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. I'm lucky enough to have had a fair amount of evidence in my time as an investigator, but it's not the only thing I do, you see, is it? So,
Yeah, that's right.
Little Dean Jail, for instance, they don't
Whereabouts is that?
It's Cinderford, Royal Forest of Dean.
Oh, okay. Oh, Forest of Dean's beautiful, isn't it? It really is.
Don't do paranormals there anymore. But they're lovely people that own it, and I've investigated that place 4 or 5 times. I've done it twice for charity, and it has always performed. And if you want it that way, active, very active.
Oh, my gran was always drawn to there. My mum and my gran, we often used to go to Gower, which is near Swansea.
Yeah.
And we often sort of headed by the Forest of Dean, but we never actually stopped. Well, we might have done at one stage, but not knowingly. So, yeah, and it is, I don't know, it's fascinating. You've got Ross as well. It's near Ross, isn't it? Is it?
I don't think you're asking me geography now. I suppose it's not.
Yeah. See, like when I drive to Wales, right on the left-hand side, you've got the river. And then you've got Ross on Wye, the other side with the church. It's absolutely stunning, that area. And you've got Simmons and all that sort of thing as well. It's absolutely beautiful along that river.
So, but basically, Little Dean Jail, Andy is a collector of criminal artifacts. So he's got like he's got, what has he got? He's got the letter from the Black Widow on the wall. He's got a themed rooms. He's got the praise room. So he's got the original wedding dress where she married the one twin in prison, letters off them and all this original stuff. He's got the Holocaust room that the last time we investigated, we weren't allowed in there because of insurance purposes, because some horrible person in the daytime, when it's open as a museum, came along, knew where the black spots was, and I think took 1 or 2 of the Holocaust outfits that are hanging up from the ceiling that can't be replaced. But I've got actual images that are just going into the content of another book that comes out hopefully for Halloween night.
Oh, fantastic.
I've got all the photographs, my research papers over the years, and they're quite extensive because they've never been to print before. So there's
Oh, wow.
a lot of evidence. I've actually got the side image of a bloke outside the Holocaust room.
Oh
As
my gosh.
yeah, really good. Someone
Yeah,
waved us in there, and we've had all sorts, but they don't investigate anymore.
yeah, it's a shame. We're losing so many locations, aren't we?
Mm.
We
Well,
really are. It's sad.
yeah, they live there, don't they? They live above
Oh,
it.
do they? Yeah, well, that's a
It
big
used,
one, isn't it?
yeah, it used to be a Victorian jail house, but it
Yeah.
also was a foundry as well there. It wasn't
Okay.
just a jail house. There's a lot of activity. We've always had activity there, always. So
Wow.
Andy and Nicola are such beautiful people,
Oh,
but
bless
he
you.
collects more and more and more. I mean, it's random. He's even got, I think, the toilet seat that Saddam Hussein sat on. I don't know why, but he has.
Wow.
I think he was on 4 rooms because he's just a collector of strange things. Like
Oh, yeah, that's right. You
it's
know,
well,
people are
well,
drawn to do that,
yeah, well
aren't they?
worth it. It is canny, it is weird, it's great, it's really great. But he
Yeah.
had some outfits of the Ku Klux Klan. He took
Oh
2 of
my
them
God.
for, the program, 4 rooms. He took 2 of them to there, and I think one of the guys offered him an awful lot of money just so he could burn them. And Andy said, like, well, no,
It's
I wouldn't,
history, isn't it?
I
Even
wouldn't
though
allow that
it's
because it's
yeah,
history. It doesn't
yeah.
condone. But it's like he's got a collection of police hats and truncheons through the years, and I mean a
Oh,
huge.
wow.
He's got a room called the fetish room. I'll leave that to your imagination there, Jackie.
Okay. The grey room then?
Yeah, he's got you could chopping blocks where he's chopped their heads off. He's got
Oh my
important
gosh.
wooden chair with a hole in it because sometimes when they electrocuted them in America, the entrails used to come out, didn't they? So
Oh
he's
my gosh.
yeah, it's
Wow.
really worth a look. I think it's open from April to October as a museum.
That sounds incredible. It's
It
like,
is.
isn't it bad, something really horrific and gross. I wanna go, and it
No,
just,
but
like,
it's
gets you intrigued,
interesting.
doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got all sorts of memorabilia, even sort of something that isn't grotesque. Like he's got a signed autograph photo of Amy Winehouse. He just got
Oh
random.
my gosh.
But you've
That's
got the
so
Black Widow room,
wow.
and it is cell 13, believe it or not. That's
That's handy.
yes, where someone's
Awesome.
brutally murdered there. So fascinating place. But
Yeah.
I've grabbed a lot of evidence of that over the years, especially when I've done it for the charity ones as well. A lot
Oh,
of
that's
evidence. Yeah.
brilliant.
So
That yeah, I'd love
favourite
to go
places.
there, but
Another place is Blackwell Court.
oh, okay. Not heard of that either.
Did a Festival of Spirit there, the second one in 2015.
Ah,
It
okay.
isn't widely sort of known about because it's an organisation that owns it, right?
Right, okay,
But it's
yeah.
looking to rent the whole. It's a massive, massive house, really big house in a lot of grounds.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, very fascinating. And there was things reported there, like the toilet block outside, where all the taps would turn on by themselves, of course. No,
Interesting.
yeah, and you'd walk out and all the taps would turn themselves on. Yeah,
Oh,
few
that's
things there, so that's fascinating. I really do like though. Most of the time, I like virgin locations. I mean,
oh gosh, I do. Yeah,
yeah,
it is great to get in places like that, isn't it?
isn't
It
it
really
just
is. But
yeah,
they don't know what to do they? Sometimes. It's
yeah,
different if you're a medium, isn't it? But they're like, "Oh, what's going on? What do we do?" It's
yeah.
funny.
Well, several times. The last couple of places, 3 places out of the 4 places I've worked over the last, where my offices have been held over the
Yeah,
last 20 years, have been quite active, quite very active actually. Yeah,
very.
especially the one place. Yeah, that was very, very active, very, very
So what
active.
sort of things happen there then?
Well, I opened up a spiritual centre, This is going back quite a few years, and we had to move from the one premises literally next door, because he was turning the one into a living accommodation. So, and we'd had a few things happen there. And we moved into this building, and historically, I'm not very good with this. So, how old would it be? I don't know, 17th century, 18th century, 18th century, I think it might have been around that time. My husband would probably correct me on that one, but never mind, eh?
Yeah.
And before we opened the doors, we'd got everything set up. We used to run workshops there, circles. I'd do sort of advanced circles, and
Yeah.
my colleague would do the beginning circles downstairs. We'd have clairvoyance demonstrations, visiting medium, workshops on all sorts, reiki training, all sorts of things. It was a lovely place. But you were never by yourself. Never. But I mean, it didn't bother me. I walked in there, but you knew damn well you were being watched, followed, or anything above. So a young medium that I helped train up put his phone on video and put it on the second floor, right, leaning up against, facing my office doorway, right, and the orbs and the energies that flew up the stairs and through the doorway. Right, we went into my office because we were doing a bit of glass divination, like you do before you open a spiritual center. No, you just got to, haven't you? It was begging for it, really. And the glass started moving by itself on my desk, and I'm getting all the up the side of me now, like it was yesterday, remembering it.
Wow.
So yeah, we did table tipping in the main big room as well, and the tables were walking and the glasses were moving, and yeah, very fascinating. I haven't got the whole of the people who live there know exactly what happened, you know.
Yeah.
Because they've turned it into like part office, I think, part residential. No.
Yeah.
But Virgin location again, rife, brilliant, very active. You know, want to play, want to tell the story, you know.
That's brilliant.
And that's what I'm interested in. So, you know, but like
That's great.
everywhere you go, we have the altered dimensions. I mean, just because this house is, I think it's back to about 1770, 1780, but there was something on site before that anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and it has such a lot of history, and so many things have happened in this house, that it's sort of, you've got the history there, you've got the build up, you've got the spiritual people in visitation or whatever. But you can, my friend bought a house that was a fairly new house on some ground that used to belong to a farm, right?
Okay.
This location, I won't tell you exactly where it is for privacy, but it's in
Gosh, no.
It's in Worcestershire, I can tell you it's in Worcestershire.
Oh, okay.
Right, and her dog kept going absolutely mental around the house, like kept staring at the corner and barking, and she just felt like she wasn't alone. And she said, "Can you come and cleanse the house, please? I don't know what's going on, but it's really doing my head in." As soon as I walked in through, and I told her the path, right, and I think she did research it. The path was through a conservatory and through a kitchen cum dining room straight through. And the farmer that used to walk that path and go down to his land, and that's who was going through the property.
Oh,
so
wow.
Hated with him, let him tell his story a little bit. This was my land, sort of thing, and the house and estate on there, sort of thing, you know. And basically cleansed it, had a word with him, all good. But it's not always like that, you see, Jackie. I did another one that actually was in Worcestershire, in the same town, but over the other side. Again, another farmland with a big farmhouse used to be, built an estate on there. The estate being probably, I don't know now, but when I went, it was probably 30 years old then. I had this lady and gentleman get hold of me. And basically they'd got 3 children. One was a little baby, and he wouldn't believe her because he used to have to go and walk away. Hi, Andy. He used to have to go and work away for a week or 2 weeks at the time come back, and she kept saying, there's things happening in this house, there's things moving, I can hear things, I can hear voices, I can hear the door and all this. And you wouldn't believe it until they got in bed the one night and the bed actually raised off the floor. Right.
Wow.
Myself and my paranormal right hand lady that was in those days, she's probably watching this, I don't know, we went along and sort of had a word, you know, and sometimes they're a little bit stubborn. And for him to tell his story as well, and his story was, he was more attracted round the lady of the house because she reminded him of his love that he lost, that she fell and died.
Oh, wow.
And this lady looked identical to the lady he'd lost, and that's why he was around her a lot. And
Interesting.
when her other half come home and then got into bed, it was the shaking of the bed. Hi, Louise. It was the shaking of the bed and all this, and he got in touch with me and he said, you've got to do something, you've got to do something. Now, that is the only place I've been at that's taken me 2 visits. He was stubborn. He was that stubborn. He really was. And this lady picked up on spirit herself, but she couldn't deal with this. But she felt like the nan was squashed into the kitchen. He wouldn't allow her nan out the kitchen. Her nan passed, obviously, but wouldn't allow her. Nan was squashed into the kitchen.
Oh my gosh.
Fascinating ones. I've done ones that were quite fascinating, but not so pleasant, because we've got the good and the bad in between, haven't we? A bit strange. I have done in Worcester, another one in Worcestershire. It must be right for them in Worcestershire. And I can tell you the location of this, the rough location. It was in Worcestershire.
Oh, okay. Right.
But basically, and that was cleansing a property where a paedophile had lived.
Oh, God.
He passed and kept playing with the little boy's toys. And actually recorded, which I wish I'd have kept the recording, but when I've cleansed a property or done an attachment off somebody, then I'm done, so I get rid of it.
Well, that's it.
But you could actually hear his voice talking to the little boy on the recording.
Oh, God.
Because the phone was left in the bedroom when the little lad was asleep. The little lad was about 5 at the time.
Oh, gosh.
When I cleansed that place, he tried to trap me in the bathroom. So,
that's heavy one.
Yeah, quite white, vibrating. It's always above anything that's darker and denser. You know, it's part of the job, isn't it, Jackie? So
it's all intriguing though, isn't it? Like I went to Haunted Antiques on Saturday. Hi Jay, hope you're all right. Nottinghamshire Paranormal, and you've got your own team as well. Please put it on the chat. I forgot. Spirit. Well, rubbish. But went to Haunted Antiques, and my friend went into trance. Amanda, she's great, and she pulled somebody through who was chanting bits of the Bible, and he obviously didn't like what we did, and he's like, he really killed it. You know what I mean? And like, it's the first time like we've had somebody of that nature come through who's just like trying to thwart what we're trying to do. You know, and it, you get people in life, don't you, who do that? So obviously you're going to get them when they pass. But that was really so bizarre. You know, she's just coming out with bits of the Bible, and we need to look into it just to find out whereabouts it is. But yeah,
absolutely. What I did have the other night, I haven't looked into it yet. Lives in an Edwardian house in Plymouth.
Plymouth, yeah, because I went there. Yeah, Plymouth is beautiful. Just looking out.
That he's just reminded me actually of where we lived before here. We had a bit of a farm or something, and we did have a barn there, and that's a really intriguing one. That is ancient, very older than this house. This barn, it's listed and all this, and a bit of land around it. And as we were doing it up, we lay there. Now we're in the middle of nowhere, Jackie. You know, there's one house that they bought off, like, you know, a few down the road somewhere, but we're in the middle of nowhere, you know.
Brilliant.
So, and I'm hearing this 40s music as I'm just dropping off to sleep, that alpha brainwave.
Oh, wow.
And I've got this farmer stood next to me.
What'd you
What
do?
what's going on? Can you go? I just need to sleep now. Thank you. Speak to you tomorrow. And as soon as I closed my eyes and started going to sleep again, I'm hearing this 40s music. And he was telling me it was the celebration of the end of the war.
Wow.
Okay. And I've had that verified.
Oh,
I've
that's
had that
brilliant.
on the exact time and date that they were doing that. So
That's
so
incredible when you get something like
that
that.
was quite amazing. We had
Scary.
got a location. We had got a Hi Gary. We had got a location there. It actually called Death's Dingle of all places, and there was a
Okay.
of down the steep hill in the brook at the bottom line sort of thing. But I used to ride my horse through there sort of years ago when we lived over there, and myself and a good colleague of mine, Anne, who will be presenting at St Breville's as well.
Yeah.
I took her for a walk through this dingle, and I said, "You've got to come and experience this place. I'll park on the side of the road. We'll just walk down the path, sort of thing." As we were turned around and were coming back, we felt like just an energy field, just an energy vortex of energy around us. It was like a tumble dryer going round like that way round us.
Wow.
Huge, like about 5 meters round us. I saw a gentleman, like a buccaneer type sort of gentleman again.
Okay.
Era, don't know, Jackie. There you go. I just described. He looked a little bit. This is quite funny because he wasn't Darth Vader, but with the cloak and that, he was
Yeah.
quite, and quite a strong character as well. Only for a few seconds, but even Anne felt the energy going around it. It looked like fine drizzle, but it wasn't
Oh,
raining.
wow.
It looked like fine
Incredible.
drizzle. Quite a magical place. There.
That's
So I've done
beautiful.
some recording there of birdsong and other stuff for the PAT CDs to go with the therapy there as well. But very,
That's
very
great.
strange place. Very
Oh,
strange.
that's lovely. You've
So
got loads of strings to your bow, though, haven't you? You do so
yeah,
much.
I started off, I suppose, as seeing dead people and talking to them. That's how it started, Jackie.
Yeah.
So it
But
developed
then,
from,
to go there from there and then sort of adapt and sort of do the
well,
training, do the retreats, everything, the writing,
I've
you've done the book,
done, I've done
everything. Yeah,
retreats and workshops. I just didn't want to stop learning, like it says on my
I get
website.
you.
I wandered into the healing fields and I just indulged everything. I've been a spiritual healer since 1988, but that's
Wow.
the only sort of healing modality I did. And then even when my youngest son, who's 31 this year, was under 1, I helped run one of the spiritualist centres up the road, and it just went from there.
Wow.
It's always been there. It's something that's always been there.
Yeah.
And then an experience with the spiritual healing. And for some reason, I don't know, someone gave me this card. The rest is history. I wandered into doing my Reiki 1, Reiki 2, Reiki 3, and Reiki 4th level. I am separate teaching certificate. I just didn't stop learning. I just
That's
wanted
brilliant.
to learn more and more and more and more. There's 2 more books going to come out. I've only ever written 1 because I haven't physical time to. I'm not too much of a writer. When I write, it's channeled through me. So having the time to do that, I'd rather be out there helping people. So
Yeah, I get you.
because I do deal with some nasty stuff as well, horrible stuff for people.
Well, that's it. Like, because people dabble, they don't know what they're doing, and admittedly, like we go out investigating. What are we actually doing? What is like? There's a place in Nottingham, and it's pure evil. It really is, and I've been
Where's that,
given some
Jackie?
information. Hey,
Where's that? Where is it?
it's about to close. It's a place called That Weird Shop in Nottingham. So
Not.
it's right opposite Snenton Market, which back in the day, it opened early. You got the fruit and other sort of bits of the market. People came and went from all over the world, and it's a bit of a ropey Nottingham area. I was actually reading a book this morning about it. I should have been sleeping, but I couldn't sleep. So, basically it was a murder across the road as well. And
Okay.
it's an unsolved murder, so we're kind of looking into that as well. And we've actually spoken to the guy who was murdered. I've had a lot of mediums go there just to try and get information.
Oh,
And
that's one thing I absolutely love, psychic detective work as well. I don't
yeah,
know whether the lady's watching me tonight, but I did do the one. It's not so many years ago; it's a lot of years for them. But where 4 were killed
oh
in
wow.
Worcestershire on the and a lot of things were sort of hidden, shall we put it that way? So,
That it is a place where nothing was spoken about, and I'm now coming to the. I really think that my past life is linked in with that, not the actual murder, because that was 1963. And it's before
mhm.
I was born, but I've always been fascinated by it. And then you get to investigate somewhere, and it's across the road from it. It's just a bit dodgy, you know what I mean? It's just a bit too
Yeah, some
coincidental, isn't it?
sort of connection, maybe. Yes.
And then in my past life, I would have probably drunk in that pub,
Yeah.
and it's there in the 1800s. So it's like last night I thought, oh my gosh, I probably would have drunk in that pub because of the nature of
Perhaps
what I
next,
did in the past life.
yeah,
And
perhaps
it,
the next time we meet in person, perhaps I'll have to regress you, Jackie. What do
oh,
you reckon?
it's absolutely crazy. It really is. Oh, so Jason's going there Saturday. I've got it the 13th and the 14th, Jason, but you've been once before, but it is such an incredible place. And oh, the history is horrific. You know what I mean? The things we put up, we're not writing about because it is. I'll tell you more about it afterwards. But
Yeah, yeah.
you just think it's a shop, it's a shop, opposite market. What else could it be? Oh dear.
Well,
Yeah, but
for the first time ever, I had a bit of an odd experience, which we'll talk about that after the finities of it as well, because some of
mm,
it I don't know if I can air it.
yeah, that's
And
right.
the strangest times where I'm enjoying a nice soaking Epsom salts, lovely
Yeah,
dim,
just chilling
you
out.
know, just chilling, got my astronaut light on, all the
Oh,
raw,
lovely. Yeah, I like those.
just having a chill, and then all of a sudden I've got images of round the roads where round the lanes where Jack the Ripper was. I'm
Oh my
seeing this
god.
one woman as clear as day. I've got two surnames in my head. I've got a first name, and I've
Oh
got two number
gosh.
properties as well. Haven't looked into it yet, and I
Wow.
don't know, other than what everyone knew as they were
Yeah.
growing at my age, like Jack the Ripper,
Yeah.
I have really, it's not something that's gripped me, but I
Yeah,
could,
it just existed, didn't it? It was horrific
yeah,
and it existed and
it's like a lot of the things, Hitler existed, didn't he?
well,
Nobody
yeah, that's right.
agreed,
And
it's one of those things, isn't it? History, it exists and then moved on. It's never grabbed me, but now I've really, really got to look into what I've picked up and what I've channeled.
wow.
And that was just, I was trying to just like shut off and go, like, I'll just have this nice bath. And there you go. Things are
Boom,
coming
yeah.
in. And once it's there, and I felt quite, you say you felt a connection to that place where, and then you've ended up
Mm.
investigating it, and you may have in a past life be where you would have drunk.
Well,
I've got,
I didn't actively know it was there. Like
right,
the pub I've always been, well, the murder I've always been fascinated by, and it's before I was actually born. And I don't know why. I heard about it once, maybe on the radio, and that was it. I've always been intrigued by it. But then, like, this place in Nottingham comes up. Charlene from Paranormal Hauntings had been there twice, and she says, "Oh, new location, Nottingham. Anyone want to go?" I booked it. Then I thought, "Oh, I wonder if it's near that pub." And I looked on the map and it seemed to be round the corner, just not far away. I thought, oh, okay, right area. It's actually across the road. And on the 60th anniversary, at the time that the landlord was murdered, we stood there, some mediums, to
mm,
see what we could pick up. And we have got some interesting things.
good.
Um, another hmm, another guy who does Paranormal, who's got loads of views and stuff, and is split up for his wife, which was well, he got married, I think, on Facebook to his wife, and he's a big
Right.
guy in Paranormal who a lot of people just keep away from. Well, he's been there now, and he's got some pictures which Andy Moore drew. So Andy Moore drew these pictures of what he got, and he actually got a spitting image of the guy who was murdered. I'll show you the picture between, what's in the press and then what he actually drew, and he went in cold. And I went to the pub deliberately first before the investigation, and he sort of picked up like funeral cars straight away, and police cars. And he didn't, and he didn't know anything about it. And then, but it is an incredible place. It really is. So Jay's going there Saturday, and
I like to go in. I like to go in anywhere cold. I don't like the information. It just
I don't want information either. No,
I don't know anything. I'd rather go in completely cold. And I mean, I only know so much about St Breville's. It's because I've already done it in 2014.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
But also, there's a section that I put up on the event on the retreat. So, and I only know so much more about that because I linked with Queen Isabella, which was absolutely incredible. Because after the Friday night paranormal, obviously you know how it goes, Jackie. You run the streets and you have zero sleep over that weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
It's quite late and we're in bed, and it's sort of, oh, who's that? Who's that sat on the window seat there? Because it's the room we were actually in. I think it might have been part of a dressing room or something. So, and we're having a chat, and she's taking my mind. She's showing me how it used to be around the castle and in the castle in her day.
Wow.
And she's showing, and she seems such a beautiful sort of fair maiden. She seems such a beautiful person, really, really gorgeous person.
Wow.
And she was showing me sort of, I remember it quite well, this basket and her picking sort of wild flowers. Like, she was quite a gentle soul, because I'm led to believe he was a bit of a one, King John. So,
okay.
He later divorced her, so she got her freedom anyway, didn't she, from him, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then the following, so I mean, we spoke until, God, it was getting light. And then I must have just crashed out, and that was it. The following day, one of the tutors had gone away because it was like bunk beds there, but there was a double bunk which I gave to the other tutor, and she had to go. She was only doing like the Friday and the Saturday morning, then she had to get back. So I said to my paranormal buddy Anita, I'm having a double bed. I'm too tired. I'm having that. I'm going to.
Wow.
Anyway, on the Saturday night, again quite late because we done another paranormal, on the Saturday night. I got into bed, and then Anita was kept awake, and she said it was almost like this woman was bending over the top of me, giving me healing.
Oh, wow.
She described her and the feeling that she had, that it was a beautiful soul and all this, It's absolutely, it's in the article, and it's absolutely bang on true. And sort of on the morning, I woke up, given that I'd hardly slept for 2 nights, and not before with that goes into it, and said to Anita, I feel really quite good, And she said, well, actually, I'm sure there's some spirit woman giving you some healing last night. But yeah, I did some trance mediumship in the prison, in the one room called the prison.
Wow, incredible.
And then I think it's chaplains. No, chaplains is in these fingers.
So when you do trance, do you remember any of it or nothing?
Oh yeah, no, I remember. I'm in full control. I'm in full control at all times.
Right, yeah, because some go into trance and they can't remember any of it. They're just out of it.
No, I won't let the reins go to, I work with my spirit guide, with my main spirit guide, the bouncer on the right. So I work closely with him, but I will do mainly a lot of overshadowing, and then sometimes you'll notice my voice will change a little bit, and then sometimes it doesn't. It depends who I'm channeling. It depends who. But
Yeah.
there's in somewhere like that, no, I ain't letting anyone step
No,
that far.
exactly, because there are a lot of
Shadow.
nasties about,
Yeah,
aren't
that was all witnessed, and I can tell you that was in the room. It wasn't Porter's. It was the prison
there? Oh
room.
wow, it's
Yeah,
incredible. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm fascinated by trance mediumship. I am. Can't get that far. I've tried. I've tried a few sessions, but I just can't. I'm so close, but not quite there.
I'm sure you will,
But
Jackie. I'm sure you
yeah,
will. Time.
but
Yeah.
we'll see. And I didn't even believe in mediumship a few years ago, so
Oh, fair
it's
play.
a bit of a change that I'm actually
Mm.
doing things now. So communicating with spirits. So it's different, isn't it? And yeah, do love it. And yeah, who knows?
I wasn't given much choice. They were just there.
Yeah, I know. This is the thing, isn't it? Like everyone's got the story. Everyone, some are born there, and others like develop it. And we can achieve what we want to achieve out of it, can't we? Like if we, if anybody can learn it. Anyone can become open if they want. Like Jason,
I,
I hope you don't mind
yeah,
saying, I'm hopefully going to development with Jason soon,
I,
so that'd be good.
yeah. I think all people should expand their psychic abilities, which isn't mediumship, but I really do think all people should expand their psychic abilities. The inner knowing, the higher consciousness. That
Yeah.
gut feeling. A lot of people need to be listening to that more. You
Oh,
know,
well, who does? Who
you,
does listen to the gut feeling?
me.
You do now, but have you always?
Almost always, because
Almost.
when
You
I
really
haven't,
screwed up. It's
the
a bad
thing
one.
is, people keep saying, like, when you're a spiritual medium, and you'll say something sometimes, like, well, that isn't very spiritual of you. And I go, hang on a second, just hang on a second there. And they'll go, what? And I'll say, so half of me is spirit, yeah? And they go, well, yeah. And you work as spirit medium. And I said, well, this half, if you like, is completely human. So I'm a demon now. So where people say, oh, that isn't very spiritual of you, well, it's very human of me, isn't it?
Oh,
You've
yeah, that's
still got to
right.
be you. We are made up from many parts if you believe in regression and you want to go back there. So if you've got a tree with oranges on there, right? Oranges, that's your soul group, right? Now inside those oranges, that's soul, right? If it's got one segment, that's a new life. It's got 6 segments, previous lives. Do you know what I mean? And how do you know
Yeah.
someone that you've never met before, but you feel like you know them better than they know themselves?
Mm,
You click like that, and
yeah.
that's because they're from your soul group, which is that tree.
Yeah.
And in which
It is so incredible. Like, like this person bringing me information through about the weird shop last night. I was reading the book. It was like, well, I confirmed something else, and then we thought, oh my God, in my past life, I would have gone to that pub. And then you
yeah,
think, well, in a past life, so if I was like passed in like 1880, and this is like 1963, am I around again in that area? So I could actually have a past life between the two now, which
that would
put
be
me
very
around there.
that would be very fascinating to. Some people might not agree with me, but we're all entitled to our own opinion, aren't we, Jackie?
Well, yeah,
Um,
that's
it
right.
would
We're
it
human.
would be yeah, we're human. It would be very interesting to take you down into a regression in that place
Mm,
if you were
yeah,
game. If you were game.
I am, but it's going, and that's it. The rent and rates and everything.
Mm.
It's a shame. But the yeah, the National Justice Museum is a big place for one of my past lives. So yeah, and I'm going there again soon. So yeah, I look forward to that. Spirit gets
So,
me as soon as I get in there.
so this place where this guy was murdered,
Yeah.
uh, are you visiting there before it closes?
Yes. Twice, maybe 3 times.
As many as you can.
Oh well, yeah, I've got it booked twice for me. So
Right.
yeah,
So,
Gary's actually going. Who's watching? Gary Field. He's going. He's a great medium, so he's going to go in and see what he picks up. I'm not
Right.
sure if
Okay.
he's still watching because he was going to go in cold, so I don't know if he's watching this, but we haven't given too much away really.
No, no, you
But yeah,
haven't.
no,
So
we'll certainly not go into it.
when does it close then, Jackie? When does it
The
close?
end of February.
Oh, crikey!
So
Not
yeah.
long.
So
Not long.
yeah, we've had one place in Nottingham close within the last year. I was the last one there. Um, yeah, and then this place, it's a great location, and yeah, it looks like it needs some sorting out doing before um he leaves basically, but that's something I'll tell you offline really. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so we've got Louise. What's the link to your website, Janet?
It's www.psychicfields.com.
Right, so www.psychicfields.com. I did actually put it onto the advertisement anyway, so I will actually type it out later on. And here we go from Andy. Can you mix Reiki energy with other energy?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Cool.
depending what the energy is. I do crystal Reiki. I'm a crystal therapist as well. I'm a collector of specimens as well. I'm just
Wow.
a crazy cat lady and a crazy crystal lady. But yes, you can. I do
That's
crystal Reiki,
brilliant.
and I do mix spiritual healing with Reiki as well. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the PAP therapy that is coming back alive this year, because you probably know Jackie medically had to take some time out, like
Yeah.
most of the year. So,
Oh,
but I'm
shame.
back. You don't
Good.
keep a good witch
Good.
down, do you? So the PAP therapy will rear its face towards the end of this year. So, and the PAP therapy is at the basis of that is you've got to be Reiki 2 attuned. That's the entry requirements to it.
Right. Okay.
And within that healing, I actually teach people, one, to believe in themselves, and ESP, train them up in ESP. It's
Wow.
got all sorts of
Okay.
things, NLP, it's got all sorts of concepts. It's a multifaceted healing system, and it has done a lot of good, a hell of a lot of good. It has, I don't know whether I'm allowed to say this one, it has eradicated something in somebody. You're welcome,
Oh,
Andy.
okay.
It's eradicated something in somebody at the say so of the surgeon.
Wow.
So yeah, wow. It's
Incredible.
cat therapy is something that spirit told me to do, channeled
That's
through me.
good.
They channeled it through me. It's copyrighted to me and trademarked to me.
Wow.
But it's not your. I'm not demeaning Reiki, but like your Reiki one is 2 days. It's a weekend. It's 14 hours.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to be that. But there's backup before and after and everything else. With this, the classroom work you'll do over 7 months. It's like a
Wow.
mini degree. You
Yeah.
do a written exam, a
Oh my
practical
gosh.
exam. You know, sort of all sorts, 1,500 words on the mechanics of PAT and homework, keep a ledger. So it heals the healer to the next level. It's also
That's good.
eradicated a rare OCD in a lady,
Ah,
and it's turned another lady's life completely around where everything else had failed at the time. So
that's
it can
beautiful.
be,
Yeah.
it can be a one-hit wonder. I know that's putting you out of money and a job sort of thing, but it can be. It's the only way I can describe it. If you've got a spider and you've got 8 legs, and
Yeah.
this sounds really barbaric, but people who don't like spiders won't think of that way. But I like spiders actually. But if you've got a
Right.
spider with 8 legs, and each one of those legs is a problem, to get to the core, which is the body, right? The PAT therapy then will pull a leg off at a time. Do you get what I'm
To
saying?
deal with
Not
it. Yeah. That's right.
spiders. I could have found a different way to explain it, but this one suits. Right. So until you get to the last one, it gets to the core. Now, if you've got a spider with no legs anyway, there's the core banging you straight in there. It's
Yeah.
it's a well worthwhile sort of
Wow.
therapy. It's a standalone.
Sounds very
Yeah,
intriguing.
it is amazing. Yeah, pretty amazing.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
nice really that there are sort of more sort of complementary, like, and holistic sort of therapies now because
absolutely.
It helps people more because obviously back in the day, like when you started out, I think
Yeah.
everyone probably just used to look at you, didn't they?
Oh God, yeah, yeah. My
I
mother
know they
got.
do now to some degree, but not,
Yeah,
now a lot of
yeah.
people actually understand.
I'm really, really past caring what people think about me, Jackie.
Well,
I'm
I
too
am
old
as well.
to
I am as
but
well. Yeah.
do that. But I understand what you're saying. It's like my mom never believed in anything I did, God rest her soul, because she's been gone for some years now.
Oh,
But
bless you.
when she passed, my father said to me, "Oh, you know that stuff you do." He said, "You're and this is the way I knew. This is the only way I knew. He was brought up by his nan, right? And her name was Nanny Holden, right? But because when I was a child, they used to say, 'Come on, we're going to Nanny Holden's.' So I used to say, sort of old. I used to think they were being rude. Nanny Holden, she's an Holden, you know.
All right. Yeah, I get you.
Holden. So and she brought my dad up, his nan, and he said, "That stuff you do and all this." He says, "Your great nan used to do that. She used to read the tea leaves. She also used to say to Jack, which was like his brother, but was actually his uncle, not much years in between them. Used to say, 'Oh Jack, go and put me sixpence on that horse at the bookmakers at the betting shop,' and it always used to come in. So I've had
Incredible.
a few moments myself that way as well, I will say.
Well,
So
yeah, if you can do it,
oh
why
no,
not?
I don't do it for sort of. It's a bit of fun, you know.
Well,
I can
exactly. Yeah.
I can remember when Tyson Fury fought, because my lads, they'll watch the boxing,
Yeah.
whatever. And I thought, well, if I've got to sit through this, you know,
Might as well
so
have something on
I
it.
thought, not the last time he fought. I think it was a couple of years ago, right? And
Yeah.
he knocked whoever out. I can't remember who he was fighting now. It doesn't mean a lot to me, to be honest,
No,
Jackie.
I don't remember, to be fair.
Right,
Yeah.
right. He's going to win, and he's going to win between the 7th and the 9th round. So I put a bet on, and he did. So he won before, I think it was the 7th round or
Oh,
something like that.
wow.
Well, I'll get randoms like that, but I'm not the sort of person to sort of put loads of money on. Even if I had it, it's sort of, I'll put a pound on or a couple of quid, bit of a lot. It is a bit of, if I go with what I get at the time and I don't tell anyone else, it comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Oh, that's
always
cool.
one of those. But yeah, I'm looking forward for the PAT therapy to come rear its head again this year.
Yeah.
I'm teaching I think you've put kindly on your Paranormal Path page. I'm doing Reiki 1 in April.
Yeah.
I have a limited amount of space there, I really do, because it's getting full already. I've only just put it out the other day. I'm doing Reiki 2 and I shall do the Masters. I'm also training some teachers up on the Reiki 1 and Reiki 2 as well.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I'll be doing more workshops. I'm yet to put my calendar up. I'm a bit behind, you could say. I used to years ago have my calendar up 1st of January, bang, that was it. It was up for the year, all the.
Yeah.
And I ran a workshop the beginning of October in Bromsgrove, my office, Bromsgrove, Worcestershire, called The Inquisitive Soul, and that was very well received.
Wow.
So with a
Sounds
mixture of all
amazing.
sorts. So, I did the witching hour, which is we were making them spell jars, wishing jars, prayer jars, whatever you want to call them. So that was fascinating. I took them down a lane into regression, and they chose whether it was, a past life regression or whether it was going back to that place
Oh,
now
wow.
to remove something. And yes, we did have a couple, the tears come as well sometimes with that, but it's tears
Oh,
of
gosh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, very fulfilling there. So just a mixture. I did about sort of 5 different topics,
That's
just for a
brilliant.
change, to mix it all up, and it worked brilliantly. So I have got some more workshops, some new workshops coming out. Because I've done a lot of the others, I've altered them. I'm just writing new ones up now to
That's
go with
great.
the whole library of about 40-odd workshops so far.
That's
So
cool.
I'm doing
You've
all
got
sorts.
you've got your books as well, haven't you? So
Well,
they all available from Amazon or?
The one book has been pulled back at the moment because there's a revised edition
Oh,
going out.
okay.
That hopefully, right, if I have enough time, that should be out around Easter
That's
or
good.
after, revised edition with some extra content in there because it has to
Brilliant.
be. And that absolutely vile photograph of me off the back page as well. So we
No
never
way.
do, we never like them. And then the other one, which I'm keeping the title secret for the moment, I'll tell you off air.
Yeah.
That's coming out. That's all my research papers
Oh, that's
and
brilliant.
graphic evidence, and that is pretty wow. That collection is pretty wow. Are you Renita? How are you, love?
Uh,
That is amazing. Some of the evidence and footage and the research and the conversations that we've had with them and all sorts of things like that is, yeah, that's going to be pretty
yeah.
well. And then the sequel to It's a Kind of Magic, which is deeper. It's a lot deeper. It's a lot of channelings. It's a lot of profound channelings. We go into the realms of like the angelic realms,
Wow. Okay.
divine energy, all sorts of things, where I've brought one technique forward as a healing therapy, and that's a mind maze technique I've brought forward, which I'm
Okay.
just writing all down, which is very interesting. So letting yourself into the doors of the mind, very, very, very powerful.
Wow.
Yeah,
I bet.
so there's a lot of irons in the fire this year. So I'm going steadily and quietly, obviously, after last year. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot to do, a lot to do.
Well, was there something in the air last year? Because for a lot of people, it's a shocking year. And it just feels like this year's a new beginning for a lot of us.
Um, I think it's just life, Jackie. I've got to be honest with you. I don't
Yeah, there
find
is
any.
life, but so many of my friends struggled last year. And this
There's a
year's
lot.
just
Do you know
potentially
what?
it looks
There's,
better.
there's, there's an awful lot of mental health problems out there. And I don't mean that being derogatory. I don't mean that, oh, they're nuts or anything like that. I mean, there's a lot of people that are struggling with their
Yeah,
mental
that's
health,
right.
a lot, that won't go near a doctor or won't,
No.
and struggling by themselves. And, if there's anyone struggling, just reach out to someone, please. Just reach out to,
Yeah.
just keep trying to reach out to people. It's a big part of my work is working with, the investigating, the mediumship. I love all that. I absolutely adore. But a big piece of my work is I do work with recovering drug addicts,
Wow.
and I
Okay.
do mindfulness, and I do all sorts of things, and
Yeah.
hypnotherapy and like that, and talking therapies, and but also with like historic sexual abuse, rape. I work with all sorts of
Mm,
things like that. So
yeah.
that's the nasty side, if you like. But to see them shine after, and to see them get back on their feet, and then see them help other people.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah,
that,
Carl's had shocking doctors. Hi,
oh,
Carl. Ain't you all right? Oh
Carl,
no, Shane. My little stalker.
was that Carl? Carl,
Carl.
I'll match you and raise you on doctors, love. I will.
Oh, they're
I,
absolutely been shocking for Carl. Last
yeah,
year, they're unbelievable. They really were. I won't go into it, but
yeah.
oh no, it's
I'll
unreal.
remember you on my healing list, Carl,
Oh
tonight.
yeah, he definitely needs some healing. He has been through it, and so Shane, like Shane's one of these, right? You meet these people,
Mm.
and I don't know, you're just drawn to them. Then you can't get rid of them, can you, Shane? But I don't know. It's just something. I don't know. I think probably met him at a public event ages ago, but then we ended up doing Newstead Abbey together.
Right.
Oh, did you? I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that, Shane. Oh well, can't be out then, can it? I am rude to him. And here we go. Auckland, how you doing? Get back to work, Mark.
I'm
Nice to
fine.
say hello to you. Yeah, it's yeah. So yeah, thanks for joining us anyway, Mark. Oh yeah, so yeah, but it's just great. All these people like you meet in the world, isn't it?
Oh, I've met some fabulous people. I really
And
have.
I've met
Yeah.
a lot of people watching. I've
Mm.
actually met, which you do, and it is so lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there are a couple of more podcasts going out as well.
That's
One that
brilliant.
I can't remember because last year's a bit of a write off for me, Jackie. So you'll have
Oh,
to
bless you.
is
Oh,
that
it does happen,
it
doesn't it?
step right back out of it. I had to step right back. But the year before, I did one, and that was Grizzly on the Hunt. It's
Oh,
amazing,
okay.
absolutely brilliant. So him and his colleague. So there's more being done there. And there's another one that, oh God, she wants me back, and I did that. When did I do that one? 2018. And she
Wow.
keeps putting it out every year, and every year I get such an influx. It's in America, like I keep getting such an influx every time she puts it
Oh,
out.
that's
She wants
wonderful.
to do one, so I've got quite a lot of that lined up,
That's
and
good.
interviews and guest speaking and things like that as well. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
so and
Yeah, I've
I'm
got one lined up, 7 EST. Oh no, yeah, I think it's EST. It's like, oh no, that's on a Saturday night. So
you'll
at
be
least it's a
you'll
Saturday.
you'll
Yeah,
be
and I've done them late before anyway, so
you'll
it's
be good.
fine.
But
Yeah.
I'm looking for new, exciting, and especially virgin locations in the paranormal. No,
Mm,
what I'm
yeah.
looking for because
Yeah, I've got a few
yeah,
ideas around here. It's just the thing is, like, you get incredibly busy, don't you?
yeah,
You really do. And, like my head's always everywhere. I'm learning a new job. I've got a sort of the podcast. I've just got my book that's just passed to a proofreader. I thought I'd emailed it and she hadn't received it, so I've got the wrong email address. And then you're trying to sort out events and you're just trying to sort out everything all the time, aren't you? So
yeah,
to
yeah.
actually go and sort out there's 2 to 3 I've got in my mind. I don't think they've been done, and I just need to go and sort them. And it's
Yeah.
just getting there, isn't it, and finding the time. And I've kind of
Oh,
hibernated after January, after
well,
beginning of the
exactly.
year.
Exactly. It's prioritizes it, it's prioritizing. So, so
Ooh,
if
new
anything
day
happens,
ghost hunt,
a
yeah.
new type of
And
ghost
that's
hunting.
it. Any time's fine, isn't it?
Yeah. So what I am very interested in, instead of, and anyone who's got paranormal gadgets, which I have as well, I have a case full of.
Yeah,
I prefer not to touch those, to be honest with you, Jackie. I prefer to use what I've got, and I like
I'm like
to
that.
bring people forward. Like St Breville's again, just as an example, that's what I do on most of them. Sort of this bit of sort of psychic activities before we kick off for the night, So I'm going to get
Mm,
people working, so I can get their psychic juices flowing, if you
yeah.
want to put it that way. That sounded a bit rude, didn't it? Then psychic
It
juices.
did. It could be. I
Never
guess
mind.
Shane's laughing. But,
Whatever.
yeah, that's what like, I hired Haunted Antiques and went there. There's 7 of us in total, and,
I
we
I'd
sort
like to go there. I'm drawn to that. I've never done it.
oh, there's a lot of,
I'm drawn.
interesting items with energy,
Mm,
and, yeah, it's just a cauldron, but it's just a bit weird that I'd got this, like, religious bloke coming through spouting the Bible. It's a bit much, really. It's not what you want, is it? But, it's another experience.
Jackie,
And
it
all
takes
said and done.
yeah, it takes all sorts, doesn't it? We've got all sorts living, and then we've got all sorts that have passed. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's right, because my friend sort of said, "Oh, well, why
well
is
done,
I don't know where
Jane.
he's come from." Well, he will do, won't he? You
I
know?
like Jane. Oh yeah,
Yeah, but I, like, started, because I've been hosting at Haunted Antiques, we always go into the dolls
mm,
room, so I thought, like, let's start somewhere else. So we did, because the spirits kind of expect you, I guess, to go in the dolls room.
yeah,
So I thought, well, let's go somewhere else. So I sort of said, let's go, just us and, not take anything. And we're sort of getting things through. And yeah, we had the table moving. We weren't doing table tipping. I'm not really that into it, to be fair. It's more public event sort of thing.
I can tell you one place that is really quite. I hope Anita's listening because she'll be sort of shivering at this. There's one place in the Black Country. I'll tell you where it is after.
Yeah.
That has been something else. I don't know if they'd let you rent it now, but I used to know the landlady and the landlord.
Oh,
I
okay.
used to do, anyone that has followed me, I used to do my evenings of clairvoyance there because it was quite a big event room.
Okay.
So, and things that have happened before those, the landlady and landlord that I knew have moved on to another pub now, basically. But I don't think they're renting this one out for the paranormal anymore. But the landlord before then was walking up from the cellar, and his legs, his feet just moved off the steps, and he was holding onto the rail. He was just swept upwards, just something was holding upwards, right? We have had an old, you know, these old pub tables that you sit on them up with a bar stool, you know?
Yeah.
So they're quite tall and quite, solid. Cast iron underneath, but quite tall, aren't they?
Yes.
So we were doing, trying to do some table tipping on that in the one cellar room, and it was almost tipping over and walking. I mean, we were barely touching the table. Now that takes some doing there. I took Anita, and if she's listening, but she'll listen back. If she hasn't caught this tonight, she will play it back because she will remember very well. Took her into that. Now you're in a noisy way. All the barrels, it's a big place. All the barrels are going off. It's really noisy. And then there's a little side room off. So I took her into there, and she was being just taken over, just completely taken over. First time she got out of the car and looked at the place, sort of, really, have we got to do it in there? And her feelings were, it's really quite odd. It's really quite odd in there. Very fascinating. I've seen like crawling people. Well, not crawling people, crawling shadows, if you like, on the floor along the cellar. So
nice.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
I don't think it's quite, it probably isn't, well, I don't know if they have done anything. It probably isn't like it used to be, but there was some sort of urinals there that was half smashed down to where this old table was as well. They was leaving it downstairs place. That was pretty, I had a couple of things thrown at me there. Only light things, thankfully, only light things. I tell you one place we did have, this was hilarious. A lady called Annie, we did a pub in, what was the name of the place? The Hot Pole in Bromsgrove. Only tiny.
Oh, okay.
Really, really tiny pub, very old. Right. And I knew the owner of it. So we did a paranormal investigation. I've still got some of the photographs somewhere, and his daughter come on it. We stood in the ladies and we were doing mirror scrying and stuff like that. Annie was stood there, and she had a bog roll bounced off the back of her head out of one of the cubicles.
Brilliant.
We were howling. It was so funny.
That's great.
Another play. I've done a lot of the pubs around Bromsgrove. The Black Cross.
Good.
The Black Cross performs, and I can actually show you. Would you like me to show you an image if I can find it?
Oh yes, please.
Of what was in the Black Cross.
That's
and
cool.
I was called by the landlady, who might be the ex-landlady who might be watching this now as well.
Oh wow, that's brilliant.
Fascinating. And the old landlord by the I'll see if I can find it, I'm not promising. The old landlord actually had a face come out of the wall by the ice machine.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah, I don't know if I can be able to find it.
Oh, bless you, they're hard to find, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, I don't think I can find it now.
It'll probably attach it to something, won't it?
Yeah, I'll find it when we go.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think spirits sometimes hide things as well.
What it looked like was I got a phone call. She said, "Can you come down to the office and have a look at the CCTV, please? Could you tell me what this damn well is?" Right. So and I like, and she was a bit nervous about it, like you would be. So I went into watching it. I've got it printed still. I think you can get it off. I think it is on. It might be on YouTube or something. I'm not quite sure. And they said, first of all, when they watched it, they thought it was Christmas time, and they'd got a Christmas tree up in the lounge, right? And they
Yeah.
thought it was a cat had got in and jumped out of the Christmas tree.
Oh, okay.
Right? And when they looked at it even more, I'll tell you what it looks like, Jackie. I will find it and I'll show you.
Yeah.
If I don't actually if I don't find it when we're off air, I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Creepy.
Brilliant.
It looks a little bit like a Martian with short legs and long arms and a big blob as a body and a face. So
well, what says it isn't, though?
It just disappeared after that. It jumped out of the Christmas tree and then it did another jump and then it stood up. But stood up, it's only about 3 foot. Right, wow. 3 foot, 4 foot. Stood up and looked at the camera. And then went.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Love it.
He says, "What on earth is that?" I said, "God, you've got some energies here, haven't you?"
Yeah.
Well, if you go under the stairs, literally under the stairs cupboard there, you can see the old wallpaper because part of it used to be a cottage next door, you see. So you can see them go back in time. But we were doing, we were investigating down the back corridor of it as well. And we had a set of wooden ladders, right? We had a set of wooden ladders that were linked up against a door. Right, in a doorway, linked up against a wall. Right, so to physically get them to go over to the other side, you've got to pick them up and push them over. Yeah,
right. Okay.
We were investigating this set of ladders, just picked up and flipped over to the other side of the, the other side of the wall. I've had loads there, loads. Wow. It's quite rich. I've done 3 there. It's quite. I don't favour it at all now. Like it's because they stop up quite late, don't they? The pubs, they have a lot of bands.
This is a problem, isn't it? Yeah. The pubs, they've got to get the trade on a Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
Haven't they really? And that's it. So they can do the later.
What used to be the shoulder of mutton as well in Bromsgrove was exceptionally. That was really good. Got some fabulous photographs of that as well.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Orbs and all sorts of things, especially in the manager's digs.
That's great.
The well-being something or other.
That's cool.
I don't
look.
Yeah.
Louisa's got a question about that thing. What came out of the tree? Could it have travelled inside with the tree if it was a real tree?
Like the spirit of the tree, do you mean, Louise?
Yeah, like if it's a real tree, you brought it into the building.
I know where she's going with this. I know where.
Yeah.
Possibly. I don't know. I'm not here to preach to people what to believe in or not what to believe in. It's up to them. But I do liaise with energies of the woods. Obviously, Jackie, I live literally 500 yards away from a huge hang of woods. And basically, do you know, that's one thing, bless you, Louise, that's one thing I've never thought of back in the day, or it's just a case that went by and then it's filed, I've never thought of
right.
Possibly could be like a nature sprite. Could be, possibly. But very odd, Jackie. You wait till I send you the photograph of it. And you're going to think, well, I don't know what that is. So, yeah. It had the landlady a bit bemused and a little bit concerned for a while, I think.
Yeah, well, I think sort of a spirit like a ghost in human form would be weird enough. But something like, that, it's another belief, isn't it?
Well, it just
pushes it even further, doesn't it?
Yeah, don't be closed-minded to anything.
Oh, gosh, I'm not now. I was.
Exactly, but a lot of people are. It's sort of that doesn't exist, and I'm not here to anyone.
But does that suit them? Is that because they'd be too scared that if it did exist? So do they kind of say, "Oh no, ghosts don't exist. This doesn't exist," because they don't want to get scared?
Yeah, that's one reason, Jackie. A very valid point there. But some people become so calcified in themselves. So what I'm trying to say, so closed-minded and not open to any other person's point of view. You could say, like my mother, bless her, God rest her soul, to a certain extent, she didn't believe in anything that I could say. Well, someone walked past my door. I'm like, oh, don't be so daft. Ghosts don't exist, you know.
Yeah.
So, was she frightened? No, she wasn't the sort of person. But it might have been in her upbringing. You see, it's the
Yeah,
way you
that's
might have
right.
been the way she was brought up, and she's closed-minded to that. She knows different
Yeah.
now. She comes and wakes me up when I oversleep. So
Yeah, my mum has sort of said to medium, she knows why I do what I do now.
yeah, it
Because,
gives
yeah,
it a hell of a lot of comfort to people, and that's what Um, to me, it's comfort. It's not closure. Why should it be closure? When some mediums, and I'm not knocking mediums, by the way, this is my opinion
well,
only.
yeah, this
When
this is it. We're open to
people,
opinion.
people say closure from what? The spirit hasn't closed. The spirit hasn't died. It's only the vehicle that it come to earth in that's tired. It's
Yeah,
knackered. It's gone now. It's gone to dust where it come from. But
yeah.
the spirit lives on. The spirit very much lives on.
Oh, it
And
does.
my main job is to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the spirit does live on. You know,
Yeah,
but every part of that, I'm a big umbrella of a medium and a healer, I suppose. I'm a healer all round because mediumship is, it's healing, you know.
yeah.
But the investigation, I think there was a picture, I don't know if you saw it, Jackie, on my timeline a few days ago. And I said, I can't believe this was like 12 years ago, 15 years ago or something.
Mm.
That was one place, and I will let you into secret. It was a waterworks building. I don't know if it still stood.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I can't tell you where it was because, sort of like the gate was open, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and when we went in, well, a lot of other people had been in there, but someone had been doing sort of satanic rituals in there. I mean, it
Oh,
had
okay.
odd enough feelings anyway in there. It was
Well, that
really
just
odd.
added to it.
Well, yes, it spiced it up a little. Uh, but that was, you can see a photograph of me there, and I think I've got my phone in one hand and a EVP in the other,
Yeah, that's cool.
like that. So but there's a lot of places like that I've not been able to take people into, or it's closed, like you're saying, that place is closed. So
Mm.
there's a lot of places unspoken about, but there are places round here that I intend to go to
Mhm.
before because we are moving from here.
Oh,
So
bless you.
nothing to do with the spirits that reside in my house. I love them all. They're great.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's time to move on. But there's a couple of locations around here that I must go to. There is
Oh,
one
bless
location
you.
around here that is really, really different. It used to have a little village around it, and none of the village it doesn't exist now. They must have bulldozed it down or something. Nothing's built on there, but it's all gone, apart from
Ooh.
2-3 walls to used to be like like what we'd call a village hall now, but I suppose it's
All
the same
right.
kind
Yeah.
of hall. And I'm going back a lot of years with this, probably 100 or more than that probably. And there's a really weird feeling around there, apart from the fact some of the trees look like Gollum should be jumping through them anytime soon.
Yeah.
It really does. It's all mossy and it's all magical, mystical. It's really
Beautiful.
something else up there. It's got really quite a feeling. Now that's only 4 miles away from me, and it's got
Yeah.
really feeling. Right, some mediums are only in the game for the money, and once
Oh,
their name hooked
I
on you,
think it's because anybody can call themselves a medium, can't they? And then they go online and they, especially
totally.
with TikTok, anyone can do it. And
Yeah, yeah.
dear.
I've heard some real disastrous stories. I mean, it's only when I've been speaking to you before as well, before we went on, that,
Yeah.
yeah, things to my bow, and I work quietly in the background. So,
Yeah. Which is
myself,
lovely. It's lovely what you do. And
well,
yeah.
just there's 3 of us healers, uh, quite strong healers, powerful healers.
Yeah.
We'll work on cancer patients before they go on treatment and things
Bless
like that.
you.
So I'm always busy, Jackie. I've always got a healing list. We're
Oh,
all
bless.
SOS medium. I'm an SOS medium as well, sort of thing, and
Yeah.
that's and that.
Happy.
but the healing that's very close to my heart, very close to my
Yeah.
heart.
Oh,
Oh, the
that's
whole lot
cool.
is. I love what I'm doing. I love what I do. Absolutely
That
adore
is
what.
brilliant. Like,
Yeah,
life's too short and you have got to do what you want to do. And, you
absolutely.
know, it's useful for other people as well, what you offer people. And,
Mm.
they need help, don't they? I have got a
Yeah,
question from Shane then.
go on then.
Um, just moved. My friend was getting a lot of negativity from a doll she had in her home. I don't feel any negativity. Could it be it was the wrong environment
Right, wrong environment for the doll, or
for the doll? Yeah,
for the doll. It could have been. Um, right, yeah, yeah. It possibly could have been, but it could have been possibly. Forgive me for saying uh, it could possibly be the vibes of his friend as well. So
right.
if he's brought the doll back, the doll's obviously more comfortable in
Yeah,
that location and with him.
yeah.
It's
I'll have to
always
meet it, Shane.
it's not always the location. Sometimes it's the person that has got it. You know,
Yeah,
it's like when you meet someone, you get on fabulously. Like I like to get on with
yeah,
everybody. And that's it. But
yeah,
then occasionally you'll meet someone, you'll think, I don't like your energy. I don't like your energy.
yeah.
Well, it works the same across the board with
Well,
whatever.
that's right, and you're right, aren't you? On your first beliefs, really. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
do listen more now to my sort of first instinct. Like,
Absolutely, Jackie, you must do, yes.
I think like when you first start, when you're young, you do sort of think, in the back of your head, it's like, no, don't do that, and you do, and you learn,
Well,
and
I don't know, sometimes
it's life.
let's not get into much controversy, but sometimes we are conditioned, aren't we?
Oh
Not
gosh, yeah,
to do
definitely.
this. Right. It's a pleasure. Thank you, Shane. Um,
Oh, it's got two. So yeah,
oh,
yeah. So
right.
yeah, I'll be seeing Shane soon. So yeah,
You'll have
that'd be
to tell
cool.
me what you think of these dolls then, won't you?
Yeah, I've actually got 4 dolls now. Just kind of acquire them. Not
I've got
particularly looking for them, but
I
yeah.
go I go for things a little bit different. I mean, I've got one doll that holds some sort of something a bit special. Um, Artifacts as well. I've got a Bronze Age axe head,
Wow, awesome,
and the feeling of
interesting.
that is it's downstairs. Actually, I should have brought it up to show you,
Oh,
Jackie. It's
bless you.
kitchen. So that we found on a site, our site.
Oh,
We own the land,
that's brilliant.
Uh,
Yeah.
so and that was found by mistake.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
incredible.
it really was. So, and we picked up some other things as well and the energies as well. The energies around this place, and I must say, and I don't mean this in a derogatory fashion, but there's an awful lot of really, really ancient bottles, and I mean ancient bottles. Now,
Wow.
this house was actually owned by the Marquess of Bath.
Oh
One,
my gosh, incredible.
right. And then it was the hierarchy, if you want to call them that, used to live here, that used to own the lead mines and what is
Oh
like a
wow.
generational house. So what they used to call the farm flat, it's a multi-generational house, but what they
Mhm.
used to call the farm flat, where my one son resides and his girlfriend, that used to be like the lead mine. That used to be the offices to the lead mine.
Okay.
I mean, the lead mines
Incredible.
shut down since God knows when. I don't know, it was 55 or before, something like that. So very, 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 very strange atmosphere. Before that, it used to be used. There used to be 35 heavy horses on the back fields or more, and they used to use it for the logging out of the woods for the
Oh,
lumber.
okay.
Also, it's been the original farm. This was the original farm to this village. It's a fair sized place, And they used to, when it was like harvesting and all this, you can still smell it, Jackie. You can smell the memories. It's really strange.
Oh,
I have
wow.
actually cleared this house 3 times. It was taken down to its bare brick. It was derelict down one end, no roof on it. But I've had to clear it
Wow.
3 times because of the energies, the mixture of energies in here. There was one barbaric killing, which I won't go into because it's of a furry kind, and I don't,
Oh, no. No, no, no.
and that wasn't too long ago. So, when it's
Oh,
rack
God.
and ruin, or it went to real rack and ruin. So, and that animal, that dog, has been made very welcome.
Oh,
Um,
bless you.
my dogs identify with that dog as well.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
I
yeah.
know my dog seen my old dog. He growled. But yeah. I
Oh,
I was I was trying to sort the house out. I was down one corner and just sitting on the floor, and the dog's ashes were next door to me, and he suddenly started growling at me. So
well,
obviously my other dog had
this
come through near
this
me.
dog is at the top of the stairs, and I've got being a stupid English pointer. He likes you to think he's stupid. Um, but thank you, Shane.
Mm,
Right, okay. There's
I'll
another
have a
quite.
look.
Jane, you've just aligned woke my brain cell up somewhere. There's another quarry around here that's not far from here, that's renowned for some people. For some reason, people seem to go and end their life there. So, and there's
Oh,
quite a bit of a feeling there. But getting back to the dog sits at the top of the stairs. When the dog passed a spirit, it was September. I won't say whatever dates and all this, because you could
yeah.
trace. This has been in the newspapers and that, so you could trace this back. And basically, I've got an English pointer who's very loud. I'm surprised he hasn't barked and you
Oh,
haven't heard.
bless you. Mine's
And
snoring loudly.
yeah, I've got a Staffy Cross Springer who's
Oh, I love
really quick,
staffies.
and they hear the slightest thing, because like we're in the countryside and there's not a lot around us,
Yeah.
they hear the slightest thing, an owl, a fox, you know,
Yeah.
anything at all, right? And every time the September goes by, you know, the anniversary of the passing this dog, the
Oh,
last
wow.
I heard a little whimper, not a horrible whimper, a little,
Oh,
like that.
bless.
Both my dogs looked up the top of the stairs. Now, if they thought that was a real person, a real dog, or anything
Well,
like
they've
that,
been up
they'd be
there.
crazy. They'd be barking, they'd be going
Yeah.
crazy, and like this with their heads. And I can hear, and Nick, that's my husband, saying, "What are they looking at?" But like, he's
Yeah,
used to me.
Carl's dogs look at something, so he sends me footage of his dog, and it would just sit there staring.
Yeah,
Um, he thinks he's got a family member. There's a house just kind of on the land, which part of his house is where that used to be, and I think he
yeah.
has somebody from that in his house. And yeah,
Like
oh,
my
he's
my
thanking you.
oh
Oh, that's lovely. That could be right. Yeah,
yeah.
how
So
beautiful.
um I have said to that dog, sort of, you are welcome here anytime.
Oh,
I'm glad.
bless you.
Please. It was vile, Jackie. I'll tell you after, it was absolutely vile. So, and it could be traced back. So I'm just not going to say
Oh,
much more about that.
yeah,
But
no.
it's very around here.
I
Um,
can't do with anything like that. Like, I can't even watch films where something happens with a dog. You know what I
I
mean?
know,
I just
I,
can't.
I know.
Oh,
It's just I can't. At one time when I was younger,
I,
it never much. Say it not bothered me. It bothered me, but it's like I'm an end of life doula. So if things
yeah,
bothered me, then I wouldn't do that, you know. And
yeah.
I sort of I've seen enough dead people in the flesh to,
Mhm.
and it's like I asked. I remember we did Derby Gall, me and Anita, some years back now, and we were
Yeah,
talking to a undertaker. He was there with some friends or his wife, I can't remember now.
yeah.
And talking to this undertaker, and he worked on. Do you remember I think it was the Phil Pots. He set fire to the house,
Oh, Jesus.
and
Yeah.
the children. He actually had to work on them.
Oh God, no.
And we had I didn't know that at the time. We had the conversation. I said, I know I do like end of life doula and things like that, and I've seen some pretty shocking states, and been with people and they've passed and things like that. But
yeah, but it's shocking. It's
how do you do that? And he says, well, it's like any other job, and I get it, because I go in as end of life doula, and I want to lighten their life and make that transition as easy, as pain free as possible.
Yeah.
And one lady in a hospice, she was, how I could promise this at the time, I don't know, but this is what Spirit told me to say. She hadn't got long left, right? She was a spiritualist herself, because I used to go on site and read for her and
Oh
do read
wow.
like that. And she'd requested me. So, and I remember my spirit guide saying to me, 7 times you'll go. And I remember arguing with my spirit guide and saying, don't be so daft. 7 times end of life healing? No, because realistically, before that, I hadn't been no more than 3 times, and then they passed most times just a couple of times. And basically, I did. I went for 5 days, and I thought, crikey, this isn't right. She was a very strong person, I loved her. And she loved her crystal, so every time I went, I'd take her a different crystal.
Oh, beautiful.
And while she could speak, she said, there's one thing I'm terrified of, and that is choking to death. And she said, promise me I won't choke to death. Well,
yeah.
Oh, good. And yeah, I don't know where it came from, but from Spirit. And I said, you won't choke to death. You'll go. She was ready to go. She fully accepted and everything. So, and sort of, I can remember having a day off in between, because I'd done 5 days on the bank. And it just, you have to travel to the place and then
like round here, it's a parking,
Well, yeah, that's it. But
that's the one, isn't it?
But I don't charge for that unless I had to travel back and beyond, and then someone would have to be up and pay me expensive. But I don't charge for end of life doula. I do not. Everyone has entitlement to have an easy transition. But I remember having the day off and not expecting for a phone call off a daughter again. Bridget, a phone call, and I thought, you are kidding me. So she's still with us. That's how strong she was.
Bless her.
But yeah, and she passed, which I don't often. The daughter's a spiritualist as well, a big understanding, and I would not pass on. I've been asked that many times. How long is it going to be until my Auntie Flo dies? And you think, hang on a second, you've come for it would be totally unprofessional of me to make that statement, even if I knew privileged information. To be honest with you, Jackie, I do know sometimes, but I won't say, because it'd be unprofessional of me.
Well, you can't,
No, you can't. And my answer to them is, why don't you go and spend the valuable time with that person while you've got, and lap up every moment?
Yeah.
Because they are precious.
That's right.
The amount of times I've been asked that, but if I knew how long she had left, and I thought, yeah, you do what, X, Y, Z, and then go and see her. It's, make the most of the people around you.
Yeah. I got into trouble with my sister because we managed to get my dad out of hospital at end of life, and we managed to get him back to the care home. And they wouldn't have let him back up to the care home if he was going to live there. Right. But they would for end of life. So me and my mate went round, and we didn't know what to do. We're visiting. So I put all his music on. So I got YouTube, put his music on. It was summer day, the window open. But there we were singing and stuff. My sister pulled up and she was horrified because we kind of, you know what I mean? And like,
yeah, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
I know. And, there we were. We got all his Johnny Cash and, everything we could think of that he liked. And we just played his music.
No, isn't that
gosh, her face.
Yeah. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? So I'm sorry to Jackie's sister, but
she won't watch this, don't worry.
Is absolutely beautiful what you've done there.
Her face was so goddamn funny because the window was open.
Yeah.
The window was open into the car park, and like,
let me take that lady a crystal up, and I said to her daughter, make sure the crystals go with her. wherever ashes go, because
Oh, bless
she
you.
would have wanted that, you know.
Yeah.
So, and you're thinking, well, what are you taking that up like? But I mean, we did have a laugh, until obviously the very end came, So,
Yeah. Yeah, because we didn't want to kind of. I didn't really want to go on my own, so my mate went with me because she's kind of like a sister to me anyway. So we both went because it was, and it's all very well sitting next door to a bed, but it's like, well, what are you
well,
going to do?
I
So
think,
we did that.
yeah, I can understand. Obviously, you've lost your father. I've lost my mother, father, brother,
And my mum and everybody,
yeah.
really. That's it.
We
But yeah, it's
understand
life.
grief, and we understand what heartache's like, and we really
Yeah.
do. But for the person going, a good friend of ours had died some years ago now. He knew he was going. He knew there was no way back. So he had his wake before his funeral, and
That's a good one.
he
Yeah.
attended his own wake. And they had a whale of a time. I don't know whether they had a band though. I was ill, but my husband went, and so he had an absolutely wonderful time, and he chose his own funeral and everything he wanted. And when the coffin went down at the crematorium, what played out, and everyone, I mean, there was tears because he was a great guy, and it was
Yeah.
packed, right? And it really was packed. It was heaving, the crematorium. But everyone was killing themselves laughing because what he had was another one bites the dust
Oh,
as
God.
the coffee went out, and he
That's
chose
brilliant.
self-light. But it's like I've always said, when I go, if you must wear black, then wear black. That's up to you. But at least put a bright orange top on, or wear a witch's
Yeah.
hat, or even better, make it fancy dress, and then
Yeah.
go and have a rave after. Go and I want you to let your hair down. I want you to have a really
Bless you.
good
Thank
night.
you. Take care.
Good night, Louise. So I just people look at death in a maudlin way.
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
I'm in a drama group, and there's this gentleman, and he got his wife to join. He was a
Okay.
medium, but by the time I knew him, he was really ill, and he was battling with an illness, and he knew he was going to die. So he sort of got her involved with the drama group, so that once he'd gone, and he also bought us some kittens as well. So
Oh,
so that when he went, he had someone looking after her, and he planned his funeral, so he had a church. I don't know. He had one. I don't know if it's a church one, but it that was the fuller service, and then he had something on at the cram, and it
mm.
was a bit of a joker and stuff. So I missed the church one, but I went to the cram. It was a snowy day. Well, in the cram car park, there's a hill, and the hearse won't get up the hill. It was so bloody
No,
funny, and I was
we can laugh, but I can
And
just see.
I was just laughing. I just couldn't, and a lot of people were laughing. And in
Mm,
my head, I saw the headlines of, funeral attendees getting run over by hearse because they went up to this hearse to push it up the damn hill. It wasn't even a big one, but obviously with it, with
yeah,
these hearse, it's what
and
it was just it
was
was too
laughing.
funny.
Yeah, I bet he was laughing his head
And
off.
it was so him. So then we went in the cram and oh, it's just so short and sweet because they'd already had the service. They'd
Mm,
done the main bit.
yeah,
So we went in there, and then it was like short, sweet, and they did bring me sunshine, and that was it. It's like what the, it was so
yeah,
funny. So then when I saw the girl again, she came to drama, and I went to greet her, and a lot of people can't like look up, but I will approach people and I will talk to
yeah,
people, and people
absolutely.
find it awkward, but I don't. You try and comfort and you try and take a lead from
Mm.
them really as to how. Anyway,
Well,
I
it
said,
keeps
"Oh,
occupied, doesn't it? Talking about whatever, you know.
yeah," let them chat and say,
Yeah.
how far they want to go with it. And I sort of said, "So sorry at the funeral, but I says I'm sorry, but I laughed. I found it really funny." And I said, "It's so Ian, isn't it?" And she sort of said to me, "Well, is he around?" I said, "Well, he'll make a sign." And I sort of said out loud, can you make a sign? And I told her to like look out for him, you know. Anyway, I just sat down and my chair shot beneath me. I ended up sitting on the floor. So, but the thing was, it wasn't as if it just touched me and went back. It absolutely flew back.
Yeah.
It was him again. And it's just mad, isn't it? It's just beautiful.
Well, I just think, for them, I have the added advantage of feeling them, and people often ask me, well, do you feel your mum around you all the time? Do you feel your brother around you all the time? And all?
Oh,
Well, no, I don't. No, I don't. Because I'm sure they have other places to be, not just round me, and they're
yeah,
not
bless
all the
them.
time, because we spend a lot of time in our conscious mind, don't we, doing things and working and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
so I'm haunting them.
Want
You'll
the wheel
spit.
spinning fun.
Fair play to you, Shane.
Uh,
Before you
Part
go,
A, yeah.
yeah, it should be. Death is
Yeah,
scary.
that's it.
No, no, death's not scary, mate. No,
Oh,
death's not
well,
scary. So
I think we
it's the
get enough challenges, don't we,
no,
really?
it's the thought of death that is scary.
It is. It is, and
Yeah,
it's also for the living who are missing the people.
yeah,
I think our experience of death is us missing someone rather than knowing what
yeah,
the other bit is, really.
yeah.
And
Instead
we
of
just put our perspective onto it, don't we?
well, we do, don't we, Jackie? So
Which
but
is a
like
natural thing.
everyone entitled to their own opinions. But I probably don't
Oh,
look at death like a lot do.
yeah, that's right. Well, paranormal, it has changed me and, doing the spiritual journey as well. And it does change you, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're
Well,
right, Shane.
losing your parents change you.
Yeah.
So, you
Well,
know.
yeah, it's what Shane's just said. It's the fear of leaving those behind. But
Yeah,
once you
but I've hardly got anybody. And that's it,
well,
isn't it? They're
so,
the other
but
side, to be fair.
once you pass over, you don't leave them behind. You're around them as much as you like. You're only in another dimension, you
Hmm.
know. We're
Yeah,
3 dimensional. They're sort of 5 dimensional. Do you know? It's
yeah.
only they're here. They're
It's
here and all
very,
that. It's just tapping into them, and that's if they want to speak to you. Because if they
oh
don't, they
God,
won't.
yeah.
Know. Exactly that.
Yeah.
So
It's
you
very
know,
intriguing, isn't it?
yeah, very.
So, I want to thank you anyway. We better finish now.
Yeah, better have
But
Jack.
thank you so much. It's been a great chat, and I wish you
It's a
best of
pleasure.
luck, really. So,
Yeah,
what's the
absolutely.
website address then?
It's
www dot.
www.psychicfields.com. So, and if
Right.
you're interested in St. Breville's, I have just to right. It's all right. Just reading what Shane's put there. Um, if you are interested in a place at the retreat at St. Bravos for Halloween night, that
Right.
weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a few of us will be stopping over on the Sunday night as well, including me and a few others, just
Oh,
because we
blimey.
can have the castle.
That's right. It's good, isn't
Uh,
it?
See you soon, Shane. Thank you. Thank you for
Oh, bless
watching.
him.
So if anyone's interested, try and touch base with me on my timeline on Facebook. So
Yeah, so Janet
uh,
O'Carroll.
yeah,
But thanks
well,
everyone for watching and commenting.
yeah. Thank you,
Um,
everyone.
thank
And
you so much.
connect with you again soon.
Thank you. Cheers.